If you've been curious about building something on the side and you've been holding back for months or heck, even years because of a question you can't answer, I have news for you. It is probably one of these 3 questions. I get asked the same 3 questions every single week from healthcare workers. Today, and I'm answering all 3 honestly. And I'll bet money one of them is the exact thing keeping you stuck. So stay with me. I've had hundreds of conversations with nurses about this. Some serious, some casual, some just DMs from women who couldn't sleep. And what I've noticed is no matter who I'm talking to, background doesn't matter, age doesn't matter, specialty does not matter. The same 3 questions come up over and over and over again. So today I'm going to answer all 3 in order of how often they come up. And I want to warn you, I'm not going to give you the flattering answer. I'm going to give you the honest one. And it may hurt a little bit, but it's something you need to look at for yourself. Sometimes being honest and being hard are the same, and sometimes they're not. So let's get into it. Question number 1, by far the most common question I get asked. How do you have time to do this on 3 12-hour shifts? I did a whole video on this a few weeks back. I'll link it, but there's a piece of the answer that most people miss. You don't have a time problem. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. I have to say this gently because it's not popular. You don't have a time problem. What you have is a priority problem. And that's not an insult. That's actually good news because a priority problem is fixable. A time problem is not. So here's what I mean. You have 4 days off. On those days, you have 4 to 8 hours of discretionary time. If you spend 2 of those hours a week on something you actually want to build over a year, that is 100 hours of focused work. 100 hours is enough to start building those skills, real habits, and a real second lane for yourself. You're not missing time. You have the time. What you probably haven't done is decided, and deciding is the hard part. Once you decide, the time appears. Every woman I know who says she doesn't have time also spends 5 hours on her phone last week scrolling something that made her feel worse, binging Netflix. You name it, you've done it. I'm not judging you. I did the exact same thing for a while, but I want you to hear the truth. You have the time. You need permission to spend it on yourself. Nobody's going to give you that permission. You have to give it to you. And honestly, if you want it bad enough, you'll make the time. Question number 2, and this is the one that stops the most people from ever starting. Do I have to sell to my friends and family? The short answer is no. And the longer answer is, if you have to, you're doing it wrong. Here's what most people picture when they think about a side business, especially in beauty or wellness. They picture the friend from high school who suddenly cold messaged them, "Hey girl," trying to sell them something they didn't need. That is a specific, cringy, and honestly bad business model. It burns your relationships and it does not work in the end. The version I do is completely different. I do not cold pitch people. I do not send "hey girl" messages. I don't make a list of my friends and go down it. I do not do any of that, and neither does anyone I've helped. I hope that is reassuring to you. Here's what I actually do. I make content that describes a specific problem, hair thinning, breakage, scalp health, whatever, and the women who have that problem come to me to ask questions. That is the entire model. I do not chase, I attract. And then I have real conversations with the people who reached out. Your friends and family will find you when they're ready, if they're ever ready. Most of them probably won't. That's fine. This is a big world. And honestly, I have a few family members that have signed up with me, but it has been on their own accord. So there are millions of women with hair struggles who are not your cousin. Go find them. Leave your cousin alone. If someone in the beauty industry is teaching you to cold pitch your circle, run. This is a broken model, and one that worked in the past, but not anymore, and it will cost you your relationships and your business at the same time. So question number 3, and this one is my favorite because it is the sign of someone who is genuinely thinking, not someone who wants to be sold to. So I'm going to give you the honest answer. You don't fully know. You can't know from the outside, and that's the truth. What you can do is check yourself against a few specific things, and I'll walk you through them. This is probably not right for you and it may be, but it probably is not. You need it to make money fast. Not what this is. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You want to be famous or influential. Totally wrong incentive. You can't be honest with people, including telling them this is not for you. That skill is the whole game. If you don't have it, it will absolutely break you. You need constant external motivation. This work is done alone, in the quiet, on days nobody is watching. Don't get me wrong, we have a great community of people, but we're not sitting in offices all day. You're looking for someone to rescue you, not me. I'll row next to you, I won't row for you. It may be right for you if you already talk about hair or beauty with your friends because you genuinely find it interesting. You wash your hair. You have a healthcare or caretaking background. Those skills translate directly. You want a second lane that doesn't require your body to function. You're willing to work slowly, imperfectly, without a big splashy launch. You want to help women feel more like themselves. You can hold a boundary, and if you can't, we'll teach it to you. You can say no. You can say this is not for you without needing to be liked. Now, here is the tricky part. Even if all 6 of those might be right signs light up, you still don't know until you try. Nobody figures out if something is right for them from research. You figure it out from contact, from the actual doing. So the honest answer to, is this right for me, is run a small, low-stakes experiment. Have one conversation. Try one product. Read one thing. Send one DM. Small contact points. Then decide from evidence and not anxiety. Notice something about all 3 of these questions. Question 1, how do you have time? This is a decision problem disguised as a logistics problem. Question 2, do I have to sell to my family and friends? This is a fear problem disguised as a business model problem. Question number 3, how do I know if this is right for me? This is totally an anxiety problem disguised as a research problem. None of the 3 are actually about the thing they seem to be about. They are all about the same underlying thing, the fear of choosing yourself, choosing to spend time and money on yourself, choosing to want more, choosing to try something without a guaranteed outcome. I don't say this to shame you. I say it because if you can name what you're actually afraid of, the surface question gets a lot easier to answer, and you'll have a much better way of deciding. So let me tell you what I do plainly. I help women in healthcare build a business in the beauty industry so that extra shifts become a choice and not a necessity. Every one of the women who reached out to me had one of these 3 questions. Every one of them was really asking something bigger. And every one of them who ended up building something did it not because they got a perfect answer, but because they had one conversation that helped them separate the real fear from the surface question. And that is really all. So, which question is yours? Time, family, or is this the right decision for me? Comment below and tell me which one. Don't overthink it, just name it. That is the conversation. And once you name which one is yours, we can start the other one, the real one, underneath. I will see you in the comments.